So let's be honest, I'm a sucker for a scam. I think like a lot of us are. Whenever there's a commercial opportunity around, say, for instance, holidays, we let down our guard and might be at risk of being taken for a sucker holiday. Special scams are there everywhere. We've got SABRIC CEO Kalyani Pillay now to swoop in as a superhero and hopefully save us, help us avoid being taken by one of these scam artists, and there are so many out there. Kalyani, thank you so much for joining us. For someone who is hunting a bargain now, especially around holidays, why is this such a dangerous time, and what do we need to be aware of?
Well, I think all the time, Graham, what criminals actually do is that, especially those that are wanting people to fall for what we call the holiday scam, is that they create bogus websites. They make it look very professional, they make it look so exciting.
Which is easy enough to do now, anyone can.
Absolutely, and I mean, most of us, when we want to look for an offer, or we want to go on holiday, we Google, we do a search, and this site pops up, and it has these amazing bargains. And so, of course, you click on it, and you go onto the site, and you do a booking. You're either buying air tickets, or you're booking holiday accommodation, only to find that after you've made the payment, because you must remember, you would have put on your card details onto the site, you would have put your PIN numbers, your CVV numbers, your expiry date, you know, all the information that criminals actually require to use it
So
at another point as well.
Phishing.
It has various opportunities for criminals. So unfortunately, you know, they allow you to so-called purchase accommodation or holiday package, and of course, you're going to get nothing in return.
And you're also handing over your entire identity
Absolutely.
in the process as well. So
Absolutely.
you know, the dangers are kind of, they will escalate very quickly
Sure.
once that scam artist, and clearly these guys know what they're doing now.
Absolutely.
It helps to know some of those red flags when looking, because there are some great deals.
Sure.
There are still
Sure.
some, you know, from
Absolutely.
reputable
Yeah.
travel agents, people like that are doing a good job. But what should kind of get the hairs on our neck rising when we see it?
Well, I think number one, most important, is when it really is, and it sounds
If
like
it's too good to be true.
Yes, you know, it's really as simple
check,
as that. Because if it is such a great special, just stop for a moment. Don't get so excited about wanting to do this booking. Stop for a moment. Do a little bit of research. You know, try and find out, is there such a company? And when you're wanting to call, don't use any of the numbers that are on that particular website. Do another search. Try and see if you can find whether this company actually exists. But rather, because there's so much of vulnerabilities and we're at such great risk, our advice would be to people wanting to do such bookings is to rather use companies that are known to you. So, you know, just be a little bit calm, be less emotional about it, keep your wits about yourself, and also, you know, hover your cursor again on the URL of that particular website. If it changes, get out of that website. You know, these little things, look for the HTTPS, because when you're doing payments, you should always be on a secure site. So again, it's just all these simple rules, but it applies across to whenever you're doing online transactions.
Oh, especially when you're giving away your credit card number, those sorts of things. One massive step forward, you mentioned the term 3D secure. What does that mean?
Yes, so, you know, when you're making payments, we're saying to bank customers, try and make sure that they are 3D, that they've registered for 3D secure. So Visa and MasterCard. So very often you would see verified by Visa, or you would see MasterCard secure code. So what this is, these are programs that are offered by both the card associations to ensure that their customers using those particular cards have the second level of authentication, so that when you're doing an online transaction, it'll pop up with another screen asking for a one-time password. So most often banks, and especially our banks in South Africa, a number of them, have actually already pre-enrolled their customers for 3D secure.
If you've signed up for an online or anything like that.
But check, if you haven't, then go ahead and register for it. It just gives you another level of authentication to protect your card and your card data as well.
And your information, your personal information, stuff that they can get from Facebook, can be enough to often sway you.
Sure.
If we have fallen victim, we now are starting to get that sinking feeling that our hard-earned money is on its way out.
Sure.
But what do we do? Is there a way that you can save yourself once you're caught up, once you've made that mistake and given your details to a false website or something like that?
Well, I think more than having given your details, but if you've actually done a transaction and your money's actually gone across, very difficult if you realized it a little while later that there's a problem.
Will banks, sorry to interject, will banks cover you? Because I know often in fraudulent cases banks will, but in this instance...
Unfortunately not, because
it's your fault,
it's your relationship with this company whether it's a bogus company or not, but it's not the bank. So unfortunately, if the bank has the ability to stop a payment, if it hasn't already been received or released on the other side, they would. But unfortunately, most often it's difficult. So report it to the police, but report it to your bank anyway, because they can at least flag. They have certain mechanisms in place that they could use to flag.
Protect yourself
accounts.
or protect someone else in the
Yep.
in the future. But just look out for some of those things we've spoken about. The HTTPS. Make sure if it's a registered website, put your cursor over the address line. If it changes, get out of there as quickly as possible. But most importantly, if it seems too good to be true, do some investigating. And did you know that you now have over 8,000 SIM swap incidents reported in 2018 in South Africa? And unfortunately, it's not slowing down. So join us next week when Kalyani joins us to talk about how to avoid becoming a victim of fraud. And we know that it is so rampant in that mobile space. So protect yourself.
We are brave, innovative, everywhere. We are SABRIC.